My fiancée tried to trick me into signing over my assets. I called off the wedding and exposed her plan. I'm 32, male, and after years of grinding away at my career and making smart financial decisions, I'm proud to say I've built a life that's stable and comfortable. I own a modest home, have a decent investment portfolio, and I'm finally at a place where I can start thinking about the future. That's why, when I met my now ex-fiancée, who I'll call F, I thought I had found someone to share it all with. She was charismatic, ambitious, or so I thought, and always talked about the life we'd build together. We started dating 3 years ago, and things moved fast. F had a knack for making people feel like they were the center of her world. She was supportive and kind, or at least, that's what she wanted me to believe. When I proposed after 2 years, she said yes immediately, and I genuinely thought we were on the same page about everything. The first red flag came shortly after our engagement. F started bringing up the idea of merging our finances. "We're going to be married soon," she said casually one evening. "It just makes sense to have a joint account and share everything." I wasn't opposed to the idea entirely, but something about the way she framed it felt off. She wasn't just suggesting a shared account for bills or expenses. She wanted full access to all my assets. "We can discuss that," I said, trying to keep things neutral. "But I think it's important to maintain some financial independence." Her smile faltered. "Independence? Why would we need that? Marriage is about trust." It felt like an emotional jab, but I brushed it off. Maybe she just had a different perspective. Over the next few months, F started pushing harder. She'd drop comments like, "It's weird that you don't trust me enough to share your finances," or "If we're building a life together, why keep things separate?" Each time, I'd explain that trust wasn't the issue. I just believed in maintaining clear boundaries. She didn't like that answer. Things took a darker turn when she started bringing documents for me to sign under the guise of wedding planning. One day, she handed me a thick packet of papers saying, "This is just a standard prenup. It'll protect both of us." "Sure," I said, flipping through the pages. But as I skimmed the legal jargon, something caught my eye. There were clauses that heavily favored her, giving her rights to my home, a percentage of my investments, and even future earnings in the event of a divorce. I looked up at her. "This doesn't seem fair." She gave me a sweet, rehearsed smile. "It's just legalese. Don't overthink it." Her casual dismissal of my concerns set off alarm bells. I told her I needed more time to review the documents and that I'd have my lawyer take a look. Her reaction was immediate and telling. "Your lawyer," she snapped. "Don't you trust me? This is just standard stuff, and now you're making it a big deal." "F, this isn't about trust," I said calmly. "These documents have serious implications, and I want to make sure everything is fair for both of us." She rolled her eyes but eventually relented. "Fine. Do whatever you need to feel comfortable." A few days later, my lawyer called me after reviewing the paperwork. "You need to be careful," he said. "This isn't a standard prenup. It's written in a way that could leave you financially vulnerable. It essentially gives her claim to most of your assets, even those acquired before the marriage." My blood ran cold. "What do you mean?" "She'd have a right to your house, your investments, and even a portion of any business ventures you pursue in the future. It's unusually one-sided." I thanked him and hung up, feeling a mix of anger and betrayal. F hadn't mentioned any of this when she handed me the papers. Was this her plan all along? I decided to test the waters. That evening, I brought up the prenup again. "I spoke to my lawyer," I said casually. "He had some concerns about a few clauses." Her expression darkened. "You got a lawyer involved? I can't believe you'd do that without telling me." "I told you I'd have someone look at it," I said. "And it turns out, this document is anything but standard." "Care to explain?" She hesitated, then tried to play innocent. "It's just what my family's lawyer recommended. They said it was better to be safe than sorry." "Safe for who?" I asked pointedly. "Because it sure doesn't seem like it's designed to protect me." Her mask slipped for a moment, and I saw a flash of frustration. "Fine," she said. "Maybe it's a little skewed, but that's only because I've had bad experiences in the past. You wouldn't understand. Then let's work together to draft something fair," I suggested. Her response was immediate, "No. Either you trust me enough to sign it, or maybe we shouldn't be getting married." That was the moment I realized this wasn't about love or trust. It was about control. She wasn't looking for a partnership. She was trying to secure her financial future at my expense. The next day, I decided to dig deeper. Something about F's urgency to push this document on me didn't sit right. I started paying closer attention to her behavior, her conversations, and even her phone. I'm not proud of snooping, but something told me I needed to protect myself. That's when I found the smoking gun. F had left her laptop open one evening, and I noticed an email thread with her family's lawyer. In it, she had explicitly asked for clauses that would give her control over my home and investments. One line in particular made my stomach churn. Asterisk, he'll never notice if we frame it as standard. He's too trusting. Asterisk. I took screenshots of everything and forwarded them to my email. At this point, it wasn't just about protecting my assets. It was about exposing the person I thought I'd spend my life with. The final straw came when she tried to trick me into signing the documents without further discussion. One evening, she brought out the papers again, saying, "I spoke to the lawyer, and we made a few changes. You can sign this now. It's ready." I glanced at the papers and immediately noticed they were the exact same as before. "F," I said, holding up the packet. "You didn't change a thing. Did you really think I wouldn't notice?" She froze, then quickly recovered. "I didn't want to overwhelm you with legal jargon again. It's basically the same, but I simplified it." "You mean you left it exactly as it was?" I said. "Why are you so desperate to get me to sign this?" She didn't answer, instead doubling down with emotional manipulation. "I can't believe you're doing this to me," she said, tears welling up in her eyes. "All I want is to feel secure in our relationship. If you can't even do this for me, then maybe we shouldn't get married." I stood up, tossing the papers on the table. "You're right, F. Maybe we shouldn't." Her tears disappeared instantly, replaced by shock. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying I'm done," I said firmly. "You've been lying, manipulating, and trying to take advantage of me. This relationship is over." Her anger was immediate. "You can't just walk away from me. Do you know how much I've invested in this wedding? What will people think?" "I don't care what people think," I said. "What I care about is protecting myself from someone who clearly doesn't have my best interests at heart." F's reaction to the breakup was as dramatic as expected. She screamed, cried, and even tried to guilt me into reconsidering. "You're throwing away everything we've built over a misunderstanding," she yelled. "This isn't a misunderstanding," I replied. "This is you scheming to take control of my assets behind my back. I have proof, F, emails, documents, everything." Her face went pale. You went through my emails?" "Consider it self-defense," I said. "You were planning to ruin me financially, and I wasn't about to let that happen." The next few days were a whirlwind. I called off the wedding, informed my family and close friends of what had happened, and cut all contact with F naturally. She tried to spin the story in her favor, claiming I was paranoid and controlling. But the evidence I had told a very different story. To ensure she didn't try anything further, I had my lawyer send her a formal notice stating that she was not to contact me or make any false claims about our relationship. I also made sure to update all my accounts, passwords, and property records to prevent any unauthorized access. The fallout hit her harder than I anticipated. Mutual friends began to distance themselves from her when they learned the truth. Some even reached out to apologize for doubting me. "I can't believe she'd stoop so low," one friend said. "You're better off without her." It turns out, F had a pattern of using people for financial gain. After our breakup, stories started surfacing about her past relationships and how she had tried similar tactics before. It was both infuriating and vindicating to realize that I had been just another target in her web of manipulation. In the months that followed, I focused on rebuilding my life. Without F's toxic influence, I felt freer than I had in years. I poured my energy into my career, reconnected with friends I'd lost touch with, and even took a solo trip to clear my head. It wasn't easy, but it was worth it. As for F, the last I heard, she was trying to find a new partner to latch onto. But her reputation had taken a serious hit, and people were starting to see her for who she really was. If there's one thing I learned from this experience, it's the importance of protecting yourself, emotionally, financially, and legally. Love doesn't mean giving up your independence or ignoring red flags. And if someone tries to manipulate you into compromising your values, they don't deserve a place in your life. If you've enjoyed this tale of dodging a manipulative partner and reclaiming control, hit that subscribe button. Because the best revenge is living well and staying one step ahead of the schemers. Stay tuned for more stories of standing up and moving on.